With us again. My guest today is Dr. Habon Abdulle. Dr. Habon is the executive director and founder of Ayada Leads, a nonprofit organization committed to breaking barriers and fostering an environment in which new American women are encouraged to lead and advocate for policies that positively impact their communities. Dr. Habon has over 25 years of experience in gender and politics. She is a respected voice on building a platform that celebrates women's civic leadership efforts and success. What is the mission and what are the goals of Ayada Leads?
Yeah, Ayada Leads is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization committed to strengthening our democracy by ensuring that nobody is left out of the civic process. And we focus on revealing the full talents that America has to offer for service in elected offices. We work with the new American women in general, but particularly African diaspora women. And we have been an organization for the last 5 years. Our focus, as I said, is leadership, but we look this leadership and meet the women of our community in 3 ways. And therefore, we have 3 main programs. One is we work with women who are interested in politics. So we provide training. Sometimes we recruit them. We provide all the skills that they need to run for public office, excuse me, and to win. The second program we have focuses to young women and girls that are attending either high school or college, and we want to prepare them to become the future leaders. So we provide mentorship where they can learn how, if they are high schoolers, what they need to proceed with their education and get into college. If they are in a college, what is and they need to prepare themselves to get into the careers and become successful women in any area they may choose. And the third is we work with women who are new to the country and new could be 5 years, 10 years, who are still having some issue in navigating the system in general, and also are struggling with languages.
What are the key issues that you have noticed when it comes to political engagement of BIPOC women in USA? What makes them engaged? But from the other side, what makes them hesitate?
Yeah, great question. What women of a minority, women who are women of color, we definitely share all the issues that the wider community, whether they are men or women, have: health issue, housing, childcare, employment. But at the same time, we have a set of issues that comes because of our intersectionality, meaning we are women, we are women of color, we are, some of us, like myself, Muslim, visible Muslim, wearing a headscarf and hijab. Some of us, like myself, are immigrants who have been not born in the United States. Therefore, whether that is an immigration issue, whether that is a status of refugee, whether it is, we're looking to have our identities and culture and not only respected, but have added into the social fabrics. Those are the issues that we are working. That gives us this different when it comes to other women or other people who are American like us.
When I say it's such a huge pleasure to have you as my guest, I also mean that I learned from other people that you are a leader who knows how to awaken in the others that leadership they carry. How do you help women awaken their potential, and how do you prepare them for the obstacles they will face?
Yeah, and I myself experience prejudice and in any kind. I'm originally from Somalia. I lived in different countries, and including the United States. Before moving to United States, I used to live in Italy, where I attempted to get into the civic leadership, but unfortunately that was unsuccessful. And the reason I did not succeeded in that attempt was because of my gender. And that's where I learned that I shouldn't be anymore wait somebody else to and open the doors for women. I myself have the opportunity and the power to start that. That is why when I moved to United States, when I saw the same issues that I experienced in other areas and other countries where I lived, whether that is Somalia or Italy, were still in place here in the United States, I had to step in and I had to try to make the change and gather the other women who have the same ambitions when it comes to civic leadership. Yes, I believe we succeeded in that attempt, but there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done. And the way I succeeded is, I believe it because we used the same reasons that misogynists have been using against us, which is culture and religion. We have been told because of a cultural background on our religion, women shouldn't be in a position of leadership. And we kind of reverse that. We have been using culture and religion to actually demand the rights of women, our rights, and our presence in leadership.
Yes. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, my country, a terrible war happened in the 90s, and we still feel the consequences today. What worries me is the strong expansion of patriarchy that stifles women's political action. I'm even more frightened by the minimal existence of the system who is supportive, that empowers women and supports them for political engagement. How did you create such a successful system in the United States and make this powerful platform with a clear and very powerful results?
As I said earlier, I used to live in Italy. I used to have it was the 1990s when the civil war was happening in Bosnia. I myself had friends who migrated to Italy at that time who were doing an amazing job, whether that is galvanizing the Bosnian community in Italy, part of particularly that's where the Syria was living, or trying to make known other communities, the struggle is, and what is happening in Bosnia. I believe Bosnia has amazing women, has great leaders. And oftentimes what I learned in these years that I have been doing this work is we oftentimes focus what patriarchy is doing to us. We don't focus what we are doing to patriarchy. Patriarchy, like any negative and damaging ideology and patriarchal ideology, is ending, is almost about to die. And when ideology is dying, it emboldens. It tries to shows how they can still be in power and be in and have this destruction and forcing women to not see the achievement and the things that they can still do. What I believe and many of the Bosnian women needs to do is to look at the history. Oftentimes, the other part we do is, for example, if I want to go now in Somalia and try to replicate the successful that happened here in Minneapolis. It wouldn't be easy because of how the mechanism, the structure, And the legal system that is in place in here, United States and in Minnesota, I wouldn't be able to find the same in Somalia. Therefore, I have to use other ways to galvanize and organize the women that lives in Somalia. What I think many of the women in Bosnia needs to do is to look the structures they have in place right now. Whether is that many of the women who are in workplace use that path and then organize the women in their workplace, and then from there started doing more works where they can become leaders. They are right now leaders in the politics, but they are not the way that the number of women you wanted to have is not even close. Women need to organize themselves. That's the main thing. Let's live out first the community. We can get to the community, but women need to organize themselves and have a voice. That's when they can succeed and achieve what they want
But
to
after
achieve.
we organize ourselves, let's imagine that situation in Bosnia Herzegovina. We have this second problem that is really like a huge one. How we can change the community's opinion that men are better leaders.
Yeah, that is what I meant organizing women. Community includes women, right? Community have both men, women, and children. If the women are organized, if women have actually that the organizing mindset and wanting to achieve and change the culture, because culture oftentimes we forget is a social construct. It's something we created, and we can change the same way we have created. If women are organized, then they can do the work. What we did is, I hope we have a time to explain. Before we become an organization, and in 2015, we actually had we were an informal group of women. And the reason we decided to start it that way, instead of us becoming an organization, was because we want to actually prepare the Minnesota community to be ready when one of us wants to launch her candidacy and say, I want to run for office. We knew it, that the community, the Minnesota community, East African, particularly the Somali community, were not prepared. We did that work. And the way we did was we wanted to have a presence in all the encounters, all the gathering where the community were and meeting. I am glad what the work you're doing right now, Amra, is this kind of a gathering where you and the media engage and invites more women and talks about the issue and how we can dismantle the barriers we have. That's how we can get more we talk, more we people, other people sees us and people not and women or men who are not believing that women can be leaders. More they see us, more they see and that we hold in position of power, more they see women who can be a role model, that will change. So I applaud you what you're doing right now. And I hope you will have an opportunity to do more of this kind of shows or invite women and have a discussion about women and leadership.
Thank you. One of your big wins, I would say like that, was the election of Representative Ilhan Omar to the Minnesota legislature and then to U.S. Congress. Originally, I read that she did not see herself in politics, but you didn't let her get away with that thought so easily. So how did you help her build her confidence to become a strong elected candidate she became?
Yeah, one correction.
Okay.
Ilhan Omar, Representative Omar, was involved in politics. What she was hesitant was her running for office. That is what I helped her with and insisted to run for office. And the reason I wanted her to be to run for office is one, I saw her leadership capacity I saw her drive, I saw her ambition, and I wanted that to come out. She worked, at that time, she was working in different campaigns. She was the campaign manager of various men who were running for office. She then was what she was working as a policy aide for a city council in Minneapolis. But she had everything that anyone will need to become a leader and run for office. As you know, many women in general don't think themselves as capable of running for office or in a position of leadership because of how we have been inculcated this idea that we are not capable, we are not deserving on the leadership positions. She knew it, but she wanted to wait and see when the community would be ready. What we did is we actually work and made the community ready for her. That is how we succeeded. As I explained earlier, the first 5 years, the work we did was prepare the community to have and to be ready and accepting women to run for office. And let me tell this quickly. And it wasn't because we wanted the permission of the leaders, the elderly of a community or the community in general. The reason we wanted the community to be ready is how the mainstream itself sees the women who look like me not being ready to run for office. Oftentimes, if you are a person of color, the question that is asked is, do you have your community support if you want to run for office? That question is not asked to any white men running for office. It's usually asked white women and people of color. That is the reason we wanted to have the community ready and we prepare that and the community in general to understand that one of us will be running soon.
For the end of our conversation, I'm thinking about all the women who will be watching this interview, and maybe they are potentially thinking about running for the office on next elections, but they don't feel themselves ready. What would you say to them?
I will say them, don't ask permission. That is your ambition. If you feel that you have what it takes to run for office and become a leader, run for office. If you are located in Minneapolis, contact Ayada Leads. We will work with you. We will prepare you. If you are a woman who are living in Bosnia or around the world where your show is reached, please stop asking permission. It's your life. You know that you are a leader. Run for office.